Hello and welcome to Bangalore 101 and I'm Mansi Paresh Kumar. Now, the Indian Constitution guarantees the right of free movement to all of its citizens. But in Bangalore, that's a challenge and then some. Our pedestrians are an endangered lot. Just how endangered do you ask? Well, in response to a question asked in the parliament, the Minister for Road Transport, Nitin Gadkari, gave these figures. In the year 2018, 22,656 pedestrians were killed on Indian roads. Move that to Bangalore. Our city has the third highest pedestrian fatalities, among the top 8 metros of the country. In 2017, 282 people, pedestrians that is, were killed on Bangalore's roads. Clearly, walking in Bangalore is a matter of life and death. According to research from various think tanks, till about 5 or 6 years ago, of the total journeys that were undertaken in an urban setting, about 23 to 30% of them were on foot. This is pan-country figures. In Bangalore this year, that number is down to 8%. And it's not surprising that a less number of people are opting to not walk in the city, because the infrastructure for pedestrians, prioritizing infrastructure for pedestrians is like at the bottom of the barrel. We do not want to look at footpaths. Most of our mobility planning budget, almost 60% of it, focuses on road construction, expansion, more car-centric than it is pedestrian-centric. So the question really is, do pedestrians really have any rights? How are we placed? What do we do? Now, there isn't a central policy for pedestrians as such, but where do we make an appearance in terms of policy? Now, the National Road Safety and Traffic Management Board Bill of 2010 spoke about giving special provisions, providing special requirements for the elderly, the women and children pedestrians. I'm not quite sure what they meant by these special provisions, and that bill anyway was thrown out by the Parliamentary Standing Committee. The second place where we kind of make a major appearance as pedestrians is the National Urban Transport Policy of 2014, where it does say that walking is a zero emission mode of transport that needs to be the primary focus of a sustainable habitat. So on paper, we're there. We're meant to be prioritized. All of that is there. The problem that we face is in its implementation. Now, walk around Bangalore and you'll know we don't follow a uniform standard for our footpaths. Some of them are so high, you can pole vault across them. It's very difficult for children or elderly people to actually, get onto them. Then we have the Skyworks, the very ambitious project that BBMP announced, because at one point they had announced almost 57 Skyworks for the city. Again, it's the same problem where, getting on them is so damn hard. Yes, there were escalators that were proposed, there were elevators, but I'm not quite sure how many of them work, and since we all use the roads, we know that's a tough call. And if you do get on the footpath, you can never be sure that you won't get run over by one of the adventurous fellows who wants to save that extra second by getting onto that signal point just a little bit quickly. Now, and all of this is where you have footpaths. Most of the places the footpaths are missing, and when that is the case, you truly are on your own and the risk is completely yours. You are holding on to dear life trying to cross or walk or navigate anything on these stretches on your feet. Now, with simple things like zebra crossings and footpaths missing, we're more prone to jaywalking and trying to rush on a busy street, which puts both the pedestrian and the motorist at risk. Quite honestly, what's happening is that the pedestrian infrastructure is a classic case of the chicken and the egg scenario, because does it really make sense to invest in huge numbers for something that occupies only 8% of the share? And if you don't invest in infrastructure, how are you going to get them to walk? So, which one comes first? That's a good question. I mean, policymakers really need to look at it more carefully. But one thing's for sure, if you continue to invest and focus on cars and motorists as opposed to pedestrians and non motorized forms of transport, we're headed for disaster. That's all we have for you from Bangalore 101 this week. We'll come back to you next week. Take care.